Hi, my name is Rachel Pradeepa. Today I welcome you to listen to my presentation on peer review cases by COPE and Analysis. This is a small project that I carried out for Lean Six Sigma Green Belt. I hope you find it very interesting. I am sure all of you are aware about COPE. COPE stands for Committee on Publication Ethics. Cope was founded by the need of Mike Farthing, editor of Gut and such editors, in the year 1997. This is a think tank non-governmental organization for discussing about publication ethics, to provide consensus practical resources to editors, and to offer voice to editors through debates on day-to-day publishing scenarios. Until to date, 612 cases has been recorded, of which the type peer review numbers to 74. Out of these 74 cases, I have chosen 44 cases, all span in the timeline between 2009 to 2020. Here I plan to summate the outcome of my research. So initially I concentrated on the communication loop that was involved with COOP. So I classified the communication loop as those by editors, then by editor-in-chief, assistant editors, and editorial board members, then by readers, then by reviewers, and then by authors. So when I grouped the communication loop, I found that editors dominated in were actively communicating with COPE. This shows two important scenarios that is happening in the publishing industries. One is that it is highly welcome that publishing business is being ethical and healthy, as the editors do not want to take accountability on any publishing decisions, but it is being collaborative and cumulative. Then, second is it is also showing that there is a lack in the peer review process model. This is because I am only dealing with peer review cases. So there is a need that editors have to keep coming back to COPE to make decisions. Following the editors, the authors predominated the communication loop. So this shows that the publishing business is being client focused, and we are more open to discuss about the decisions made. So the authors are not at a loss, but at the benefit of raising concerns and shouting their views and opinions to the publishing industries. Then the third last point that I found is very key finding out of this communication loop is that publication ethics is loud and aware. This is because the reviewers are also having a considerable significant amount of share in the communication loop. So they are not being constrained by any policy or system, but they are also free and open to share their views beyond submitting a peer review report. Following the discussion on communication loop, I categorized the court cases based on the type of issues they dealt with. Once again, I like to remind you that I analyzed only peer review cases. So the various issues that I came across in these peer review cases are post-pub discussions, journal management discussions, IPR issues, ethical issues, conflict of interest, authorship and contribution, and misconduct. Of all the issues, the discussions on journal management was the highest. This is again having the positive note. On the positive note, shows that the editors of a conscious and collaborative decision making, especially when it is a complex business case. But at the same time, it also indicates that there is a huge scope to modify and streamline the peer review process. Then, for next to journal management, misconduct was very high number of cases were reported. This is because the authors have a pressure to publish, and besides there seems to be also be different schools of thoughts, and so people have to there has been an increase in high number of misconduct cases. Following the number of misconduct cases, conflict of interest took the next bigger share of court case classification. This is because conflict of interest is an ambiguous terminology that can be taken up by the COPE and define it. I say this because conflict of interest is an ethical question in one or the other way, and I don't have to explain why is it so. Then, the last but not the least, I wanted to emphasize that the other issues like IPR, contribution, and authorship all have been taken into consideration, and with the introduction of a credit system, they all will go down in numbers. So, the court's contribution in making the streamlining the peer review process is turning out to be inevitable as a result of this. On seeing the outcome of the communication loop and the issues that are being dealt by the peer review cases, I just wanted to have a quick look into the type of peer reviews, the type of peer review type that has been adopted by the various journals and the issues that have been raised. So, following a small analysis, in spite of the fact that most of the cases hardly mention the type of peer review they adopt, I found that post-pub discussions were much on high, which could probably because they were double blind, and then falls the open peer review, single blind, and double blind. So I don't find from this we can I can derive anything much. But however, this data was much useful for the next slide, where I was able to do a correlation analysis. As mentioned, as mentioned in my previous slide, I did a correlation analysis with the type of peer review against the various cases that has been submitted under the type peer review. This yielded a correlation coefficient of 0.72, indicating that there is a positive impact on the type of peer review to the court cases. One has to keep in mind that despite the fact that double blind and open blind peer review system may have its own implication, that it is only the nature of time when the issues are raised and addressed. Double blind is addressed, issues are addressed once the manuscript is being published, whereas most of the time in open blind it happens during the process of peer review itself. So this means the authors and readers, reviewers and editors are much more vigilant about open peer review, whereas this is not happening in the case of double blind peer review. Finally, I like to leave a few concluding remarks before I can gather your feedback. The one is first one is editors are open for discussion, especially to make cumulative and collaborative decisions. And then there is a need to streamline the peer review process per se, considering the type of various issues that has been discussed. And finally, there is more scope for COPE to involve in the peer review process, where they can aim to reduce the number of misconduct, especially by creating awareness to editors, authors, readers, and reviewers, and by providing knowledge that such committees do exist, and there is a chance for reconciliation. Thank you.